guys, good morning. Welcome to today's episode of Your Biggest Vision. It is Monday. I am so happy to be here with you all and share with you everything that I have prepared for you guys today. So if someone could just let me know that you can hear me, we will get started. I am live on Facebook, and then we'll be ready to go. Oh, hi guys. I hope everyone had a good weekend, and I could not be more excited to be here with you today on Mondays. I specifically wanted to do the Monday version, or the live show every week on Mondays, because there is something that I love about Mondays, and I know not a lot of people do, but I think that there's just something about being able to start the new week over on a clean slate, on a fresh slate, and create whatever you want that is really unique and really amazing. So that is very in alignment with today's topic, and let's get into it. But first, I just want to share that because this is a new show, and you guys have been so amazing during the launch of it and in celebrating it with me, we are doing a contest over this week. So you can enter every day over the week. Every day at noon, we are doing a drawing for a $50 Amazon gift card for anyone that has entered the qualification. So all you need to do is subscribe to this show on iTunes, and I'll put the link for that down below, as well as subscribe for the show updates with my website, which I am putting right now the link for, and then leave an honest review on iTunes. So it's 3 steps, but they're relatively quick, and when you do this, you'll be able to be updated from iTunes about everything, or every time we get a new episode or anything like that. And you also will be able to get updates from Urban 20-something and from us every Monday morning about the show coming on and how you can join live and everything else like that. So it's only 1 email per week, I promise. I'm not here to bombard you. And then, of course, your iTunes update, and then just an honest review would be hugely helpful. So if you do all 3 of those, then every day this week we are doing a drawing for a $50 Amazon gift card to people that qualify for all 3 of those, and I would love for you to be one of them. So let me know if you have any questions or anything. You can always email us at help@urban20something.com. And me or my team will be there to help you out. Now, moving on to today's topic. So today I wanted to talk about something that I get asked a lot, but also just see people sort of miss a lot, and that I missed a lot too, and I'm by no means perfect or doing this perfectly. But it's about how to sort of keep your bigger vision for your life alive during your day-to-day tasks and during the things that aren't really as exciting to you or as huge visions to you. So this is particularly the case when you have a 9-to-5 job, because then you get very easily stuck in the, maybe not even overwhelm, but in the pattern of doing what your 9-to-5 job tells you to do. You have a to-do list, you have a certain set of responsibilities that your boss or your supervisor gives to you and that you need to do in order to make things happen. And when you have that coupled with all the other responsibilities in your life, like your children, if you have them, or your partner or your parents or whatever family member that you really want to prioritize, your social life, your personal health and exercising and things like that, it can be really easy to get caught up in sort of the day-to-day routines and not necessarily have a lot of intention behind what you're doing every day. And that is how our visions can slip away from us really easily. Now, am I saying that you should, blow off all your responsibilities so that you can think more about the next country you want to travel to, or whatever sort of exciting thing is calling you, or, lifestyle thing that you really have on your heart or that you've wanted for yourself? Not really. But at the same time, it doesn't matter how clean your house is or how quickly your laundry's done or if your rent check is in on time. These things are just not going to help get to your idea of your biggest vision. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for. And so there has to be a way to strike the balance between the two. And the exercises that I have for you today are 5 simple things you can do every day. They shouldn't take longer than 20 or 30 minutes altogether. But if you do them, you'll be amazed at the ripple effect they have on your intention and how how even doing things like the laundry or prioritizing other sort of daily tasks might shift or might be delegated to someone else, because you are doing your whole day and you are leading your whole to-do list with the intention of getting to your bigger vision, in the long run, and really getting clear about what it takes to make that happen. These exercises are also helpful if you don't even know what you should be doing to help your bigger picture or your bigger life goals, or even necessarily what you want to do next. Another thing that I hear all the time, and that I personally have felt many times, and I'm sure I will again, is having those moments of lacking clarity, those moments of thinking, well, I do have big goals and I am ambitious, but I honestly don't even really know what I'm working for right now. Or if I had to tell you what my biggest vision is or what my biggest goal is, I just don't know. And those moments can be really dark and lonely, because when you feel purposeless, it doesn't matter how much you work or how hard you work or how much motivation you have. If you don't have that purpose behind it, if you don't really know what it's going toward, then it can feel very empty. And these exercises that I'm going to share with you, they're practices rather than exercises. They're not all too strenuous. They can help you in those times too. And this has been a big relief for me, because I think that if you do make the switch from being a 9-to-5 employee to a full-time entrepreneur, there can be a lot of pressure and assumption that you are doing your life's purpose, or that you are doing something every day that lights you up. And hopefully most of the time you are. Hopefully most of the time you do have a lot of satisfaction. But at the end of the day, we're all just humans. And, even people that seem like they are living out their biggest purpose, they have huge audiences, huge businesses, huge sales, whatever it is that can really look like success on the outside, even they have times where they think, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this really it? Is this really what excites me? So you're not alone, and I think that it should be a relief to understand that we all have moments of an identity crisis, and we all have moments of that lack of clarity and that lack of purpose, and sometimes even the loneliness that can come with it. The good news is, one, we're not alone, and two, it's an invitation to take ourselves a bit less seriously, and remember that we're here at the end of the day to have fun with this. Life is meant to be enjoyed and explored and entertained. It is not meant to be this huge amount of pressure where you are doing your life's work every single day. It's just unrealistic, and it's not as fun anyway to feel like you have to have that much pressure on yourself. So all this is to say, whether you are an entrepreneur or you are working at a 9-to-5 job is actually irrelevant. The practices I'm about to share with you are meant to help bring the intention into whatever you do day to day, to make sure that you are standing up for the bigger vision you have for your life every day. Or they're there to help you see that vision even when you're not quite sure what it is. You're not quite sure what the next big goal is. You're not quite sure what the next big milestone is. Either way, they'll help you. And just one more note on oops, sorry guys, on that second category of feeling like you might not know exactly what your vision is right now. I see this especially when people do reach a big goal. And maybe this has happened to you. Maybe you know what it's like when you really, really want something and you think if you just get there, if you just get to that thing, then you'll be really happy and you'll feel really proud of yourself. And so many of the problems you might be experiencing right now will go away. For example, maybe your goal is to quit your 9-to-5 job, or maybe to hit six figures in revenue or something like that. And you can get to a place where you think, okay, I'm here. I'm proud of myself that I did this. But is this really it? Is this really what I worked so hard? Is this really all that great? Are things really that different than they were beforehand? And those moments can be pretty isolating too, because you put all these eggs in this basket for this certain goal, or how you'll feel when you achieve this certain thing, or what your life will be like once X, Y, or Z happens. And when that doesn't always come to life, you can feel like, well, you don't really know what else to do to get you to the place that you were working toward. And these practices will help you with that too. They'll help remind you of the bigger picture. They'll help remind you of how far you've come, and they'll help make you realize that a lot of the times we are already living a vision that we once had for ourselves. So these are helpful for all sorts of different areas of your life, no matter what you are currently doing to try to pursue your vision. But the key takeaway is they're here to add the attention to your life that it's going to take to make your biggest dreams come true. And we all know, whether we actually practice it every day or not, the danger of doing things in an autopilot or unintentional, frankly, way. And these help you stay out of that. And so without further ado, let me share this with you. Let me take a sip of water and coffee, and then we will get going. And for those of you that are watching on Facebook Live, I would love to hear where you're tuning in from and what you are celebrating this Monday, what you're looking forward to this week. And if you guys have any questions at the end, of course, let me know. But here are 5 things you can do every single day to make sure that you are living under the intention of bringing the vision you have for your life to reality. They are in the order that I do them, but you can, of course, do these in whatever way you want. So the first thing is to make a list of 10 things every morning that you're grateful for. Gratitude journals are nothing new. This is no secret, and many people will say that the secret to a fulfilled life, or you can even cure your anxiety with a really heavy gratitude practice. And this is really close to my heart because this was, of all the things, well, actually there's one other thing on this list, but one of the things that my dad, who passed away last year, taught me the most was the importance of gratitude time. And the way he did it was from 4 to 4:30 p.m. every day. He would kind of stop working, stop all the distractions, stop all the alarms, and spend half an hour in reflection of what he was grateful for and praying and things like that. So I haven't done it that way. I like to do it in the morning. I like to do it before I check my phone, or, you know, I read any sort of emails or anything like that. And I actually do this after I journal, but I didn't include journaling in this vision checklist because I don't actually think it's as applicable. I think I journal more for, well, just other reasons. But the gratitude list, actually, it might seem like it's, you know, about something that has happened. How is it actually helping you go toward your vision? And I want to share that with you. So gratitude has the power to reverse anxiety, stress, sadness, and most importantly, when it comes to the pursuit of your vision, gratitude can take you out of a victim mentality. This is so important. A lot of times we can catch ourselves feeling sorry for ourselves because we feel like we have too much on our plates, or we're too busy for our own good, or we'll never be able to get everything done in order to reach our big goal, or we're always a step behind, or politics are ruining our lives, or our student loans are ruining our lives, or why aren't things looking the way they want? Why aren't things moving as fast as we want? All these things are normal reactions, but just because they're normal doesn't mean you actually have to put up with them or tolerate them at all. And they are doing nothing, not one thing, to help you move forward. Not one thing. I want this to be very clear. There's a difference between learning from mistakes and having drive to keep going forward versus feeling sorry for yourself about why things are a way that they are. And so the more ownership you can take over your current circumstances, the more empowered you're going to be. And it's from that empowered state that you have the strength and the courage and the ability to make your vision come to life. And so when you focus on your gratitude the first thing in the morning, and you push, sometimes you have to push yourself to think of 10 things. Most of the time it's pretty easy, but sometimes it does take, you know, pushing yourself to come up with. Then you are programming your subconscious mind to look at the glass half full and look at the lessons, the opportunity, the blessings, the presence within everything that comes your way, instead of looking at them as potential negative things or as things that are working against you or anything like that. And so the more you can be in that constant state of seeing your struggles, or even your not struggles, but just seeing everything that's part of your life as a blessing, as something that you're grateful for, the more you're going to be able to be a stronger person, the more you're going to be able to see opportunities where other people see obstacles, and the more likely you're going to be able to propel yourself forward to the vision you have for your life. So gratitude is not just about being thankful. That is what it's about, but there's also a layer to it, a huge layer about how it's going to help you be a stronger and better and more effective person. Now, I want to give credit with all of these where I kind of got the idea, because I certainly did not come up with all of these from scratch. So this particular practice, the 10 things that you're grateful for list every morning, is from the book The Magic by Rhonda Byron. I think you pronounce her name. Yeah, she wrote The Secret, and she's written several other books in the sort of law of attraction space, but The Magic is really about this gratitude piece and thinking about how gratitude can completely change your life. And in our case, how gratitude can make you the kind of person that you need to be in order to handle your vision, your huge vision that you have for your life, the thing you probably want more than anything in the world, the thing that you will die with regret if you don't pursue. And so if this can help equip you to go for that in a more empowered, exciting, and more likely to succeed way, then why wouldn't you do it? And yeah, so anyway, if you want to read more about that, then you can read her book, The Magic. And it's important to bring yourself to truly feel the gratitude. So again, like I started this whole talk about, is we can get really into these mindless cycles or these mindless tasks or doing things just to check them off the to-do list. And when it comes to your gratitude, you really need to be careful to not fall into that trap. Now, as I just shared with you, this is the first thing I do every morning. So I usually do it before I've had like coffee or I'm really awake. So a lot of times I catch myself being like, I'm just writing this list even though I'm half awake. And so whatever the case is for you, really push yourself to sit with the list and sit with what you write and feel grateful for what it is that you've identified as 10 things worthy of this gratitude list. Whether it's your health, don't just write, I'm grateful for my health. Really think about what it means for you to be able to walk through the world every day with all of your limbs, with, you know, not having any breathing problems, without any sort of chronic illness or whatever the case is for you. Maybe some of that isn't so much the case, but we all have the ability to go through this life in a way that is accessible, and not everyone does have that. And so really appreciating what it means for you to be healthy and for you to have your youth and for you to know that you're never going to be as young as you are again today, and how being healthy has given you energy and how it helps you move your body and how it can help you raise children, you know, when the time comes. So there's so many layers to it. And the more you can truly feel that, the more this is going to work. Okay. Step number 2 is to spend 5 minutes envisioning you living in your vision. Visualization is one of the most powerful parts of pursuing your vision. In my experience, visualization is what differentiates your vision from pipe dreams or fantasy thinking to actually being something that you then get to live out. No matter how big or dramatic your vision may sound, if you can truly see yourself living in that way or with a certain accomplishment, your subconscious mind will drive you to make the decision it takes to get to that place. So I want to be really clear about this. If you have something that you want for your life, let's say you want a penthouse apartment. I'm looking at my view and that's why I thought of that. Let's say you want a penthouse apartment. Who doesn't want something like that? So if you really want this in your life, and this is part of the vision you have for your life, that is different than just thinking it would be a fun thing to have. So how can you hone in on what it would look like for you to be the person living in that penthouse apartment? What do you do with your life? What do you do with your time? What kind of things do you worry about? Are you still up at night worrying about the things you're worried about right now? How have you gotten there? What do people think of you? What kind of friends do you have? Who do you surround yourself with? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat your body? And the more you can get clear about what the person that you need to become looks like in order to make that happen, the more likely it is to happen. And the easier it's going to be for your subconscious mind to open itself up to the opportunities that present themselves to you in your life to move toward that and make it happen. So instead of just thinking that something might be nice for you or that you would be happy if it ended up working out, get very clear about if it's just a pipe dream or a fantasy, or if it's something you truly envision in your life. And I don't want you to feel like you need to step down from something because it's something you might not be able to truly envision yet. But do have a bit of clarity between if it's actually a desire for you or if it's something that just kind of sounds fun that we all would appreciate. And if it's the former, if this is part of the vision you have for your biggest life, then really start every morning closing your eyes and truly envisioning what your life looks like when this part of your vision comes to life. You can learn more about visualization and how to incorporate it into your life with a book I recommend called Leveraging the Universe by Mike Dooley. That's where I got this particular exercise from. He talks about how powerful 5 to 10 minutes a day of solid visualization is to your subconscious mind, and how those who achieve great things almost always leverage the power of visualization. Because if you are stuck in your same routine and the same things you do every day, and even if you are at a level of success that you're proud of, I hope you are, I'm sure you are, if you continue doing the things that got you to that level of success, it will only continue to keep you at that level of success. You have to think bigger. And you're not going to be able to do that if you don't actually think that your bigger dreams are possible. Or if you can't, in other words, see yourself living them. You're going to stay exactly where you are and you're going to continue doing the things you've been doing up to this point. So visualization is hugely imperative for you to start thinking bigger and outside of the box. A note from me on this is that in the digital age, I have a digital vision board. So what I do personally to do this every morning is create a Google Drive folder with images uploaded that pertain to my vision, both long and short term. So it's usually about 12 to 16 images all in a Google Drive folder, and them together really puts me in that place of envisioning how I could be living within those images and how those things could be coming into my life and how they will. And what's really fun about this digital vision board is that I have also a little subfolder within it in Google Drive called Things I Made Happen. And as I bring these things to life, I can just drag them into that folder. And that folder is a very fun place for me to look if I'm ever feeling a bit down on myself. So if there's things like places I wanted to travel or some sort of income goal I wanted to hit or something like that, and I've had visual representations of those visions within my vision board, then I can just drag them once I've done it into the Google Drive folder. And that's always a way for me to look back and remember that this does work. I've seen this work. I've proven to myself that believing in myself and spending the time every day to think of the bigger picture has served me well. Alrighty, let's go on to number 3. So the third thing you can do every day is to schedule in 3 things to your schedule that do contribute to your vision. When planning our days, it can be all too easy to fill our to-do lists without really assessing how our tasks will impact our bigger picture vision or goal. Of course, we all have things to get done, but picking up dry cleaning, writing a rent check, and answering your emails aren't necessarily going to get you to your best-selling book or a spot on national TV. So in the morning, make sure to look over your to-do list and be sure that at least 3 things on that list are part of your bigger vision. So you don't need to move mountains each day. Let's use the best-selling book desire. You don't need to be writing your book every day. But every day, can you do one thing? Can you brainstorm for 20 minutes what you'd write about? Can you reach out to someone who might know a publisher? Can you design a cover for it? Can you write a timeline for when you would need to get things done? Can you hire someone to do a task that you do every day, like maybe cleaning your house or something like that, so that you can do this? What can you do to really put your vision into action? So this exercise became integrated into my daily routine after starting to use Brendan Burchard's high performance planner. He doesn't necessarily associate the 3 things that you should do every day with your vision, but he has a couple questions in there that put this together in an actionable way for me. So he does ask you every day, what is a bigger picture goal that you need to keep in mind even if you can't act on today? And that's really helped me, because even though I'm not in a 9-to-5 job anymore, when you've been in it for long enough, you still have these habits of doing the same types of things over and over again. And you really have to be disciplined about breaking out of them and constantly growing and constantly pushing yourself. And it reminds you that the reason a lot of people don't do this is because pushing yourself is scary. It is not easy to stop doing things that you know have worked for you in the past and go out on a limb and try something completely new when you don't know if it'll work, when you don't know if you'll make money from doing it, when you don't know if it'll pay off. So it definitely comes with a level of discomfort. But as we just talked about, you're never going to get to the next place you need to be by continuing to do what you've done every other day up to this point. You'll just continue on in the same pattern that you've been in. So by keeping in mind what you need to do for your bigger vision, even if you can't act on it today, I take it further than that. I make sure that at least 3 of my tasks that day are related to my bigger vision. They don't have to be directly related. It can be things like do something bold today, make a sales call today that you usually wouldn't, or maybe research some sort of travel thing I want to do or something, even if it feels like it's far away. But things that concretely relate to my vision in some way, so that every day I know I'm working toward it a little bit more. And as a final note on this, I just want to add that as you go through your list, you don't just need to ask yourself how you can add more intentional tasks. You might be reading or listening to me say this and think, Leah, I don't even have time to brush my teeth. How am I supposed to add 3 more tasks to my to-do list? What I really love about this practice is that in adding tasks to your to-do list that are meant with intention, first of all, you don't always need to add tasks. You can even just look through and be like, you know what, 3 of these things already do contribute to the vision I want for my life. They already do relate to my bigger idea and my big goal. Great, you're done. But what else, the other thing you can do is start looking at things that you're doing a lot that actually have no relation to the bigger vision you have for your life. Things like, laundry. Can you pay to have your laundry sent out? And I know you might be thinking, no, I don't have any extra money, but you have to really think about the return on your investment here. And if you can spend a bit of extra time not doing your laundry, but instead doing something contributing to the bigger picture of your life, that is so well worth it. And don't put the pressure on yourself to feel like you need to see a financial return right away. I mean, I'm not telling anyone to spend money that they don't have, but you don't necessarily need to make the money back in an instant. What you need to recognize is that by allowing yourself to continue doing something like laundry, because it might save you a little bit of money every week, you are going to then be allowing yourself to live with regret. And that cost is way higher than having your laundry sent out. So really think about, what are the tasks you're doing, and maybe some of them just don't relate to your bigger vision at all, and you can kind of knock them off. Another example is one of my clients, she often has on her to-do list, grow your Instagram. And when we really step back and think about it, her goals for her company and for her business and for her finances right now aren't really going to be grown by her Instagram account. And so this is a really great example of how we can fall into these traps of doing what we think is productive, what we think we need to do, what other people are doing, and not really bringing the intention into our to-do list to ask yourself, do I need to be doing this? Is this helping my vision? So feel free as you go through your to-do list and sort of analyze what is in service to your vision to also knock off things that are clearly not in service to it. All right, practice number 4, do something for someone else every day. As children, we are taught the importance of giving to others in general. I know I was. I went to a Catholic school. It was my father who first taught me that giving is not just something you should do, but it's actually a principle to success. The idea of receiving more, if you give more, is nothing new, even though my dad was the first one to teach me that. You can interpret why this works in whatever way makes the most sense to you. So really understanding that the more you give, the more you give, the more you get is not just, something that you learn in Catholic school, but it's truly a principle to success. You can interpret it in whatever way you want. So you can think about it as the universal law of giving, which is very clear in the universal law study and in metaphysics, if that is something that makes a lot of sense to you. It also is very clear in the Bible. So if you grew up religious, Catholic, Christian, anything like that, then this is obviously not a new concept to you. You know that God rewards people that give more. And you also can understand it in terms of your subconscious mind, because the more you give, the more you lead with value. And you'll hear from every successful entrepreneur on the planet that the number one way you will have a sustainable business is if you are consistently providing value. So if you get into the practice of every day giving one thing to someone or doing something for someone else, you don't necessarily have to give a thing, but thinking about someone else in that way, then you are truly programming your subconscious mind to always think about what you can be doing for others. And that translates into business beautifully. That makes you more client focused. That makes you more customer focused. That will help you design your work based on what you can do for other people. And if you are functioning on that principle, then you will never have a shortage of income. You will always be able to sell more because people will always need more value. So one of the notes that I have for you on this particular practice that's helped this for me is that I started actually putting in my planner every morning something I could do for someone else. I'm a huge planner, and while it always sounds great to do something for someone else, and I love the idea of it, the reality was if it wasn't written in my schedule, then I would forget all the time, or I wouldn't have time, or I'd make up an excuse or whatever. So now in the mornings, I add this to something on my to-do list today, or I schedule it in, and I think, what is something I could do for someone else today? So if you're feeling like you don't have a whole lot of time to do things for someone else, then it might also help you to plan it out as well. So it could be something like sending a card to someone, getting flowers for someone who needs a pick-me-up, donating money to a charity that you like, whatever it ends up looking like for you that day. I think you'll know the answer most mornings, but scheduling it out is something that helped me, and maybe it will for you too. Okay. The 5th daily practice I have for you to keep your vision strong every day is to celebrate your daily wins every day. So if you ever feel like you're constantly wondering why your big vision hasn't happened yet, or why you're still waiting for a dream to come true, it's probably because you're not celebrating your wins along the way. I'm just going to read that again. If you ever feel like you're constantly wondering why your big goal hasn't happened or why you're still waiting for a dream, it's probably because you're not celebrating the wins along the way. And it might sound counterintuitive. A lot of the times people say, well, I'll celebrate once X, Y, and Z have happened. I'll celebrate once I've gotten to this income goal. If only I have this accomplished, then I would feel better. I will feel happier and more proud of myself when I'm at this place. But the truth is, if you don't start implementing a constant practice of celebrating every day, you will feel perpetually behind. And the myth you're telling yourself, we should just debunk it right now. The idea that you will feel fulfilled if you get to an artificial barrier or landmark you have set for yourself is just not true. Because if you have programmed your mind to always feel like you need to be at a certain place, then even when you get to that place, you are going to still be in that pattern of feeling like you need to be in an even different place from there. This often comes when we fall into the comparison of our own journey with other people's journey, which is also hugely dangerous because just like this similar pattern, if you get to a place where you saw someone else and you thought would feel really good to get at, then when you get there, you're still just going to compare yourself to someone else. So getting into the practice of celebrating your wins along the way will get you out of that pattern, and it will get you to your goals faster because you will stop wasting time feeling like you're behind, and instead you can leverage the momentum you create by celebrating every single way or every single win, and you'll get to your bigger vision faster. So if you do start living your biggest vision, at some point you won't recognize it if you're in a habit of feeling inadequate. If it feels like you're bragging from celebrating every win, I don't care. Do it anyway. You can always do it here. You can always come to my Facebook group. You can always come on this live episode every Monday and talk in the comments about what you've accomplished. There's always people that will want to listen. And if they don't, then you can celebrate yourself. If it feels like you're being excessive, you're not. No one is going to celebrate your wins for you. And life is short, you guys. Life is fleeting, and if you don't celebrate, if you can't even celebrate yourself, no one else is going to celebrate you, and you're going to feel perpetually behind. So this is up to you, and it is just so much more fun. And once you start living in this way of realizing that you can celebrate all the things you do and that you deserve to celebrate all the things you do, you'll remember why you started to transform your life and to make more of yourself and to be brave enough to go after your vision in the first place. It's to improve your life. And you can start with that today right here by being someone that celebrates every little thing. So it took me some time to adjust to doing a daily celebration of win because I would feel guilty working less or celebrating something when I still knew I had so much to do. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like popping bottles every single day to celebrate things, but I do at least make sure at the end of the day to look back at what I've accomplished that day, make a list of it, and reward myself in some small way, like maybe taking a bubble bath or having a glass of wine. But then when there are, quote, smaller wins, I definitely celebrate them big time. Like I remember when I had 1,000 followers on my Facebook page and I did like a launch party for it, and I got a bottle of champagne. So feel free to celebrate the things that might even seem small. Because I knew how important this was, I stayed disciplined and was delighted to see how much more fun life became with daily celebrations. Excuse me. No matter how big or small. And a happier, more celebratory life is what this is all about. So I know that if you really start getting excited about celebrating yourself every day and your accomplishments, not only will you get to your bigger vision faster because you will be the person that's in a positive momentum, you will also just have more fun and you will enjoy your life more. So there you have it. Those are the 5 things you can do every day to keep your biggest vision alive and well, even when you are caught up in the to-dos, even when life is getting in the way, which it will, but you still can have this bigger picture in mind and lead with that intention in everything you do. And if you want to download this checklist, I have a snazzy short version of it for you that you can, put on your desk, tape to your fridge, put on your desktop, whatever makes sense for you to make sure you're doing them every day. You can just go to yourbiggestvision.com and you will sign up for it right away. You'll also then be eligible for our contest this week, which is every day we're giving away a $50 Amazon gift card for those that subscribe, as well as leave a review on iTunes. So if you download this checklist and you're halfway there, and we will let you know if you win. Either way, I hope that you find this checklist useful and that it can bring your vision really present into your life. And when you subscribe to it, you also will get every Monday a personal invitation in your inbox to this live showing. So if you want to come in live, that's what this is all about. I love being here live with you guys, and would love it if you join me every Monday. So with that, I am going to let you guys go. I hope you have a fabulous Monday, and if you guys have any questions, you can email us at help@urban20something.com. This episode will be available tomorrow, Tuesday, on iTunes, as well as on my website. And our podcast of the week, which is an interview with an Instagram travel influencer, Danielle. She is the travel Instagrammer behind The Wander Lover, will be up on Wednesday. For now, that is all, though, my visionaries. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and week, and here is to your biggest vision.